Bomb. Send bomb.
Been like this all day.
Did you rub my lamp?
1,000 generations living in now.
Here we go.
I love when I begin these interviews to kind of comb through the history and try to figure out what might have drew you to a project. And I noticed that there were consistent themes in your body of work about like redemption. What is it about the like path to righteousness theme that seems to draw you to projects like this in your work?
Good question. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows where it comes from? You know, you grow up a certain way. You see bullies. You see people taking advantage of other people, and somehow through your art form, it comes out. You know, what I find, and it's not like it's the only type of movie I want to make in my life, but what I find that people care a lot about, that I care a lot about, is justice. And I think it's important to do that when you can, and entertainment as well. So
now, with a limited series like this, I was also curious when going through your background, you have a long history in working in music videos, and that's kind of like the ultimate short form storytelling, right? You have, 3 to 5 minutes to create a narrative arc.
Right.
Do you think that your roots in directing music video aided you in doing something like a limited series?
Completely opposite.
Okay.
You know why? Because well, in this case, because we had 8 episodes to develop it. But as the director of the first episode, I look at it as a little mini movie. It has helped me in that way because I know how to convey a story in shorthand sometimes. I've had a chance to grow up with this audience through commercials and videos and how fast they attain things and see things. So I think I have an understanding of what I can get away with and what I can't.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I was wondering as well, with your role as a producer, how involved you are throughout the entire process in maintaining that through line. Is it something where you're just kind of observing and trying to make sure that it matches tonally with what you established in the beginning? Or do you kind of like wash your hands and wish them luck?
No, I couldn't do that. No, everything. I'm involved all the way through. I mean, I had to go do Emancipation, and it turned out to be good because on the weekends and sometimes after work, I would look at dailies, and then I would look at the edit, and I would call the editor, and I was talking to Dave DiGilio and Chris and everybody and our Navy SEAL guys. And I had a bunch of Navy SEALs with me as well on Emancipation. So we were constantly in touch, and I stayed involved all the way through.
Wow. I was wondering as well, because I had the pleasure of speaking to Jai Courtney earlier and was kind of talking about his experience working on really larger scale films like Suicide Squad, and then changing it to something like a limited series like this. Do you find as a director that your approach is different when you're working on something that is shrunk down in scale? Do you feel like you have to switch the way that you're thinking, or is it all the same?
The approach is the same. You know what I mean? The process for me is the same. You obviously have to think about it that way because of the format, but I try not to until I'm forced to.
Okay. Sure, not to interrupt the creative flow.
Yeah.
I was also wondering, was there anything that you learned on this project? And again, you're kind of limited to your 1 episode here. Anything in particular that stands out about the Terminal List that you think is going to change how you're working as a creative in the future, either based on how you had to collaborate with the other directors or just any particular standout experience on set?
Working with other directors is exciting.
Yeah.
Right. You it's great to see them do their thing and I do my thing. And, I think that's one of the pleasures of doing these type of things, is you get to see other artists work and see their process a little bit. And, it's a nice collaboration to do that, because as a director, you're on your own so much, right? You make a movie, it's like, you're not on your own, you have a whole team, but you feel lonely, right? You're like the guy that you're sitting there in your chair and, anything that goes right, you can get credit for. Everything that goes wrong, you get credit for it too, right? So to see other guys in the same hot seat, it's like, it's nice.
A little bit of a relief. Circling back to, I'm so fascinated by the idea that you create kind of like a thought book and, kind of psychologically, like where the character's at, where the stories are going. How much prep work as the person who, as you said, was creating the tone went into this maybe differently from other projects? I mean, I imagine you were working pretty closely with Navy SEALs. Was there a long pre-production process before you were actually filming?
This happened pretty fast. My process is the same. I do I do a psychological breakdown on everything. I do a visual board on everything. In this case with the Navy SEALs, they're friends, so I spend a lot of time with them anyway. But yeah, we work out the choreography and we discuss some details, so we spend more time doing that. And then Dave DiGilio, the showrunner and writer, we spend a lot of time discussing those things. So yeah, the prep is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then how does that work when you kind of establish with your actors that you're working with? All right, here's where I see them starting, here's where I see them ending up. Do you assume that they will organically follow that path as they continue growing with that character? Or is that something as well that you kind of just have to put in the hands of the other directors?
No. When we agree on the character, me and Chris or Constance Wu or any of the great actors, that character is consistent, right? Because they have to be. But there's always room. I love actors because there's magic that happens on the set that you can't write or predict. And as long as it fits that character and it doesn't interrupt the flow of story or plot, I love when that happens. So I am a director that likes to give them some room to play. And the great actors, they'll flex and do something fantastic,
Absolutely. I have to say, to wrap things up here, about 7 years ago, I was actually an extra on the Mag 7 set with you, and it was a wonderful, amazing day. Unfortunately, we had a lightning storm hit, so we never quite got past rehearsal.
We had lightning storm hits every day. What are you talking about, man?
You tried. You put in so much effort to try to push us through. So I never ended up in the final product, but 7 years later, to be sitting here talking to you is such an honor. And I
that's great.
Your time.
How exciting! That's great. See, I love that. See, you can't predict. You never know where a character's going to go.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mr. Fuqua. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Good talking to you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.